Oh, try to get a picture of Pancham. They're endangered, remember?
Yeah, sure thing, man. 22 years! That's a bigger gap than Kid Icarus had. After 2 decades, the N64 treasure, Pokemon Snap, finally got a sequel. But is it any good? Yes. Yes, it is. If you haven't played the original, let me sum things up real quick. You take pictures. Don't worry, I'll have a skip for all the heavy spoilers. You're a kid who gets drafted by a Professor Mirror. Google searches for Mirror Tree have never been higher. To take pictures of every Pokemon in the Lental region. You know, for science.
There are glowing Pokemon and we don't know why. Go take pictures about it. Also, here are some balls that make Pokemon glow.
What? He also has an assistant named Rita, who took me way too long to realize she was designed to look like a Goodra. The Lental region is split up into many different regions, from jungles to deserts to tundras, even underwater. And they're all just teeming with life. And you're there to catch them all. On film. Just like in the original game, you're given a variety of tools and tactics to get Pokemon in high-scoring poses and positions to get the best pictures. They're rated on pose, size, if they're facing the camera, if they're centered, if other Pokemon are in the shot, and new to this game, background. Some areas just have good backdrops like a waterfall or a nice sunset, and not once did I care. I was way too busy trying to capture stupid specific actions they were doing because they added star gradings. Different levels of stars are completely irrelevant to how well you frame the picture. You've got to catch them doing some rare behavior that can be tough to find. A Bounsweet just vibing? 1 star, soft poop. Moments before death? That's the real shit! I'd frame that! Some Pokemon have multiple 4-star poses, and sometimes getting a 3-star can be hard too. Sometimes harder than the 4-star even. But if you're going for all 4-star levels, it opens up the game to a lot of replay value. Oh, and they added an auto sort! No more sifting through your pictures, guessing which one will get you the best score. It'll do it for you with the press of a button now. I wish taxes were this easy. Now, those tools in the original consisted of apple-shaped Pokemon food, Pester Balls, and a Pokeflute with 3 different songs. But I guess they were deemed too violent, so apple-shaped Pokemon food was replaced with Fluff Fruit, which they go out of their way to say is super light and won't hurt anything. You know, we'll fucking see about that. Pester Balls are replaced with Illumina Orbs, which, instead of pestering, tend to give Pokemon energy so they come out of hiding or do a cool move. The Pokeflute is still here, but it's just 1 song now. You won't get sick of it, I promise. And now you can do like a radar scan that'll pinpoint where items of interest and Pokemon might be hiding. Some Pokemon might even react to it. There are achievements now in the form of titles. Like, I don't know, take 100 pictures of a butt or something, you'll get a title. Oh, and a really cool feature I like is that when you run through a level, you'll gain experience in that level, and when you level it up, more Pokemon will come out and be more comfortable around you, because they're literally more comfortable around you, because you've been around them a bunch. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. I love it. And the characters will make requests that hint towards interesting picture opportunities, sometimes even scoring you the 4-star. As if already going for all 4-star levels, leveling up the area, and the post-game high score wasn't enough replay value for you. They have this too? Like, it's so good! I was so worried that after like 22 years, things would have changed too much and the game wouldn't have the charm of the original, you know? And I was wrong. Every single thing the original had going for it, this one has in spades and then some. Seeing all these Pokemon in their natural habitats, just wandering around, interacting with each other, total magic. There's so much going on. You got multiple levels of each area, days and nights, and tools to play with. Pokemon to the left and right and even behind you. All the alternate routes and secrets to find. How rewarding it is to find that rare Pokemon or behavior to capture. The replay value here is immense. It's got a vibe that hasn't been recreated since the original. Still not very long to beat, but that's like a 9-hour casual playthrough, whereas the original was 2 hours to 100%, you know? Hell, I've got over 50 hours in it and I still haven't found everything. It's got more maps and more secrets and a whole slew of replayability. Like, I had high expectations and I was still blown out of the water. This is the most fun I've had in a Pokemon game since, like, Conquest. If that's not enough to convince you, I'm about to head into spoiler territory. I'll leave a little timeline notch or skip to this time to avoid the juicy bits. Alright, if they're all gone, I don't have to hold back. Venomoth's not in the game! They got Beautyfly and Frostmoth and Vivillon every time you turn, but they won't... There's no justice, man. No justice for Venomoth. Oh, and Todd's back. This I was not expecting. I was almost in tears. What a gorgeous love letter. And when he brought probably the most pointless character in the franchise's history. Phil is just Rita, but like, Tyranitar themed. Do we really need 2 characters to tell me when to scan that flower for the 80th time? Oh, and those 4-star pics I was talking about? I was hired on to make a few 4-star picture guides for Blue Shell when it first came out. I'll put a link up in here. And getting some of these pictures was like trying to run a Rube Goldberg machine submerged in honey. Difficult. Like Liepard, for example. God, friggin' Liepard, man. Friggin' Liepard. Running through the jungle at night, specifically level 1. It doesn't work on the later levels, it has to be on the first level. Like, frick. You gotta nail this Liepard with an apple. And then this Liepard with an apple. And then knock this Arbok out of the tree. I don't know why, but it's consistent, man. I tested this a bunch. And then hit this Liepard with an apple. Or an Illumina Orb. Then play music over here to wake up this Liepard. Then you email your mother asking for birthday lasagna. Roll a 2 on 3 dice, sacrifice a small gorilla, hit any of these Liepard with an Illumina Orb, and play music, and they'll stand up a little bit. And that's your 4-star. And if you miss anything, and you will miss something, it just won't work, and you gotta restart.
I'm all out of gorillas.
Like, even something as small as, like, playing music to these Liepard and not hitting them with an Illumina Orb, they'll do something entirely different. I didn't want to really showcase much that wasn't in the trailers prior to the spoiler skip, but, here I'm going to talk about just how gorgeous these areas are. Like, the park is bright and cheerful, and then the jungle is dense and packed with life. The forest is foggy and has you traveling through different seasons. It does a really good job filling you with mystery, like what powers are at play here and what's hiding past the fog. It's cool. The desert feels really open, and while it doesn't offer much for hiding places, it's still somehow teeming with Pokemon, none of which feel out of place. The volcano, oddly enough, feels the most chaotic, with conflict right out of the gate and Pokemon running this way and that way. The lighting is absolute magic here, too. We got a beach that's just as pretty as you'd expect, and go out into the reef and even underwater, man. The vibe here is so good. And coming out here in the evening? I have a boner. The sky and the tundra at night, the caves, the ruins? I haven't been awestruck like this by a game's visuals since, like, Monster Hunter Tri. This game covers everything that the original had going for it, but what was one thing the original was missing? Boss fights. There was hints to a potential cut ghost boss in the OG, hinted to with a cut music track, but here we've got the Illumina Pokemon, one on each island. Some are more boss-like than others. Meganium just walks around and literally smells the roses, whereas Volcarona feels like an actual shooter. Wishy-Washy wasn't too hard, but still kind of gave me the deep-sea creeps, if you know what I'm talking about. It was really cool to see Steelix in the limelight again, even if his stage gave me some trouble. And the final boss? Xerneas. I beat this one with total luck. I couldn't hit this ball for the life of me. It was like Mew from the first game on speed. Kinda a cool conclusion, but like, if you knew anything previously about Pokemon, that tree gave it away the second it showed up. Oh, and something I didn't expect was post-game content. Adding the evening to the reef was genius. It's so pretty! And then legendary Pokemon showing up? What a nice reason to pop back in there for the 38th time. Like, Shaman not being too hard to spot, Ho-Oh giving you a nice little scavenger hunt with grand rewards, Lugia being pretty locked away actually, but man, was he a jaw-dropper. And that's just naming a few. The one that really got me was Mew in the jungle. I mentioned the Mew fight on crack, maybe I should have saved that analogy for this one. What a callback. Just like in the original, Mew shows up in their barrier and you gotta knock them out of it with a fluff fruit. But unlike the original where you can just do that once and then stun lock him to get the best picture, here you've gotta nail his barrier 3 separate times. Through like trees and shit. And I'm skipping some steps even, but wow was this touching. This game feels like a total love letter to the original and everyone who played it. Oh, look at the time. The spoiler-free folks should be back in, 3, 2, 1...
Play it, bitch!